Hi everyone, welcome to our programming stream of Ghroob. In today's stream, we are going to program the main menu. Since we're in the previous stream on Tuesday, we were designing the main menu. So now we're going to prototype a menu that works according to what our game will be. So let's get started. So I was debugging before the stream. So let me explain what's going on here. So this is the main menu scene. This would be how the game would look like. This is just a prototype. The 1 minute. Let me remove this button from here so it becomes clear. Yes, that's good. Okay, so that's the title of the game. That's just a placeholder for the logo. And then you got three buttons: the start game, the settings, the what. And we can also add more buttons. For example, this is the main menu. We just right click, we go to UI, and over here, let me just, sorry about that. Just go to button text match pro. That's button number 3. You can place it, for example, down here. Credits, like here on text match pro. Text match pro, then the normal text, as you can see over here. We got two types. There is text and there is text match pro. Text match pro is the upgraded version, so everyone uses that. No one uses normal text. And it does likewise for the button, the drop down, and the input field. But for now, we'll be focusing on the text match pro of the button. All right, so this is just a normal button that's interactable. But there is a bug that I'm getting into in a while. Inside the button, there is this text. I could go up here inside the button, and I could call it anything I want. Maybe, for example, I could call it credits. We can change the text style. For example, go closer to it. Okay. So we can have there are text styles in Unity, and each one has their own color, their own texture or style. And if you have a font that you made or downloaded from the internet, you can use it from here as a font asset. We can change the font size over here. Yes, it's changing. So as it changes, the text just gets cramped up and it goes up. So we can just fix that by going to the button. We just increase the width and increase the height. Now, if we go to the font size, see, that's better. So if you want bigger buttons, we just increase that. We just increase the size of the button in respect to the canvas of the game. All right. So now, as we create the main menu, I divide the main menu into 3 categories as of now. We have the main menu. Now let me uncheck this. We have start, level 1, back to menu, and we have settings, which in this stream we're going to make it up. All right. Let's see. So the bug that I was talking about. Problem is you can see. This we can interact with it, but these buttons we can't. Will this solve it? Like drag it inside? No, it doesn't. But for now, let's see. We do this. Yes, okay. So for example, let's call this button 1. Let's add it to our list of menus. I'll get to this in a second. All right. Okay, let's get going. So for the menu controller or menu manager, I create two scripts: the menu, canonical menu, and the menu manager. So the menu is the most simplest one. I can just explain it less than a minute. It's just a sub menu inside the menu manager. Just it has two public variables, its name and whether it's open or not. And if we open it, we set open to true, and the game object, which the menu is set active. And for close, with the bool variable of open is set false, and we set the game object to false. So what I mean by game object that's active, we go over here, that's what we mean. This over here is the game object. Notice how it disappears and appears. It's like that over here. Double one doesn't appear. Just like that. So that's a way like to shuffle between the menus. If we press a button, it opens that menu, set start to true. It says set start true as in to make the other menus check if start is like running in the main menu or not. And it's all right. As for the menu manager, let's explain it over here. So I'll get to do this while I'm using Unity Engine.scene management. It's the last line of code over here. So we have an array of menu. Like an array is just another way of storing variables instead of like typing menu 1, menu 2, menu 3. We can just store it in an array of menus. So they will be stored like as we can access them in a way that is more organized. Like we go to menu, the first variable, which is 0. The first variable is 0, second variable is 1, 2, and so on. All right, so over here we have the two types of the same name of the function, but they have different values inside them. So this one we're using a string. For that one, we're using a menu. It depends on how we want to access the sub menus inside the main menu. So if we want to, for example, to access start, but we just want to use start, like as a menu, we can use start. But if we just wrote start as a string, we can use this one. If we use this, we proceed inside the for statement. We start with I, and I scans through scans through the array of menus until the end, and it searches for the string that we assigned. If it finds that the second one or the third variable of menus is start, it opens it. Else, it checks, is that menu open? So for example, is the main menu, or for example, is the settings open? It closes it. So that's a way to manage opening and closing menus. And likewise for the second function, we don't have to check for the name. We just go for closing all of them, closing all of the other menus, and then opening the menu that we want over here. And if we want to close a menu, we just menu.close. And all of these just go to this script itself. They just go to this public function and they just run this code. Okay. And as for this, I wrote this code so we can use it for the start. If we click on level 1, the button of level 1 runs this code. It just loads the level 1. All right, so let's get going. I'm not sure if I edited something in there. But the bug in here is that I can't press these buttons because they are inside here. Now it's loading. No, it won't take that long. Okay, it didn't take that long. Oh, and by the way, this is the panel. If we go over here, yes, this is over here. It's the panel. It's just like a background for the canvas. Because I don't have an image yet, I just use the color sort of background of the scene. I assigned like a brown color for the menu. I could go for blue or yellow, but I just go for dark brown. And that's it. We don't have to worry about these. All right, so let's see. Why doesn't this work? For now, let's make this button work. We demonstrate. For example, that's button. Okay, we call this button 1. But let's say, for example, we call this start game. And we have another button. Over here. Okay, let's give them good names. Not just button 1, button 2. That's start game. Okay, let's call this level 1. And let's call this start game. All right, so that should be it. Okay, good. Now let's deactivate this. This one should be level 1. Now let me demonstrate that. Okay, over here, we go up. I already assigned the menu script for this. Let's keep this one open. This one should be closed. So for this one too. This is start. Level 1. Make sure we have another. Yeah, let's start. Because I have another button for level 1. I'm not sure if that will affect anything about the menu. Yeah, that's this one, but it's deactivated, so it won't affect anything. Okay, as for this one, we have this name start game. This name is level 1. We should have them inside the menu hierarchy over here. All right, just drag everyone into here. Okay, good, there it is. Now we go ahead, since it is there, and we go to on-click. So there it is. Now, editor and runtime, that is if you want to test it inside the editor, but I can do that. I just test my games on runtime. When I click on play, the buttons are activate. So over here, this is just we select the game objects. I just drag canvas over here, and we get access to the functions over here in the menu manager. Now open menu. We just drag one over here. So this should work if I click on the button. Let's see. I hope this works. No bugs on the stream, hopefully. We click on start game. Yes. So that's how things should work for these. But problem is the buttons are gray, as you can see. Like I can't, they are not interactable. I think that's because we have like something outside of the canvas. Should be fixable. Something, but for now, let me go on next like this. So since we can open level 1, let's open the scene itself. We go over here, menu manager, load scene. Now, how will it load the scene? In build settings, I placed level 1 with a build index of 1 in the menu manager script. Okay. I use the scene management library, and this function precisely. We have scene manager but load scene with a build index of 1. Or if you have a lot of scenes to deal with, but you remember like the order, you can just get active scene dot build index +1. So I can demonstrate this right now. Scene manager dot load scene. I'll place that as a comment. Yes, that is get active scene dot build. No, I forgot about the parentheses. Build index +1. So it should look like that. But since I know the number of the build index of level 1, I just go for load scene 1. Okay, let's see it. Now it should. I'm not sure if it will load since I'm in the editor of Unity. But if we build the game and then we just go to the menu, start game level 1, it will load level 1, the scene of level 1. All right, so here we go. Start game. Oh, it loads. I think it should load. It will load level 1. Like there was a slight delay. Like there was like I clicked on level 1, now it's trying to load. I'm not sure, should I wait? Yeah, it's over here. We made some changes. We'll get into them. And I'll get to program the witches in a moment. Like we have a new skybox over here with the moon in it. There are I'm not sure, when I get to it closer, I can see a thin line in the skybox, but we won't look directly at the box right now. So now, let's see. We go back to that scene, see if everything's complete. Okay. Okay, I'm just waiting for Unity to load. Oh, hi, Alia. Hope you're doing well. Just busy programming. Okay, everything's here. Right. Okay. I don't think they matter. No, they are outside here. I don't remember. No, they don't do anything. Okay. So one problem that people can run through, or programs can run through when making buttons. Let's see, where did I do it? Yes, over here. So in this in this submenu precisely in settings, we could have like a lot of buttons. For example, audio, video input, audio, video input languages, etc. So like placing the buttons like precisely, for example, over here, like it will be hard, like placing them like 10 inches, 10 inches, 10 centimeters. So it can become tedious. Thankfully, Unity has a component called vertical group layout. This just makes life simpler by, let me remove this, by like making it automatic. So if you see over here, we have one button. If I add another button, it should be down. Yes, it's down. Okay, let's call this button 1. If we make the spacing 5, 1, 0, like it just becomes closer. We can just move all the buttons up there. We can add another one. And now it becomes closer, so we need to improvise. Wait, spacing 5, 10. Okay, let's add another button. Adding another button over here. Button 3. We can add their names to them. Over here, this button, let's call it, for example, audio. This one will be video. This one, we should say, for example, language. Or the last one, back. Let me see, can we play at least with these buttons? Not sure if I can demonstrate that, because you can like make the sprites invisible and you can see the text only. Like in most of the games, you can just select the text. You don't see a button over here. Let me see. Yes, by playing with the transparency, you can just make the button transparent. Okay, good luck, Alia. All right. Yeah, no, okay. Like I get that's the normal color, the button. And the highlighted color is when we scroll with the mouse, or if we select the button itself, it just highlights it with the color red. It could be easier to do select over here with the start game. Let's show it over here. Yes. Just make that highlighted color. Maybe purple. And plus the colors when we press the button instead. Let's make it something like blue. Okay, highlight colors, plus colors, select the color, disable the color, or disabled. Like the button is there, but the player can't select it. That we can like write into the code. Like if we have an extras menu, we can just make that inaccessible until the player like did a couple of tasks in the game. So let's see, will this work? Yes, see? You can see it changes, and if I press, it becomes blue. Yes, take out. Okay, let's open these. All right. So getting back to what I was saying, that's how good, like vertical layout group just makes everything makes everything like spaced in between equally. Now I'm not sure if I should go on to these. So example, yes, that just moves the buttons away from the center over here. That's the center, not center, that's where the vertical group layout starts. You can just keep it as 0. All right. So that is for the main menu. Like I hope it could work. Like the buttons can work. So I can just press them in there. I think problem is with the airplane system. Not sure if this will make my project not work. But for wait a minute, we have a reveal. We got two art house assets. I'm going to use them in the stream. Going to use them in the stream. So on our factory system, I just use the scene to also showcase the art house assets and see them up close. So first one is the updated KGT. So that's the old one. We zoom into them and just see they're just plain color. Like the writing can change how they look like. Like it's just solid color. But it's in the new KG3, like it's more detailed. If you look close into it, you can see like the details of the tree trunk, or like dark spots in them. All right, and this is game changer. Now we have characters that we can rig. Rigging is just like placing the bones in a program, so we can animate and make the 3D model move its arms, heads. For now, we can use this as a placeholder in level 1. So now we will start with instantiating prefabs. So this is already a prefab and textures should be over here. Yes, it's over here. This is already a prefab. We can just go to prefabs and drag this switch like this. No, we want to get into that. I don't want to go back to the previous prefab. But for now, we have a new narrative for our game. Like now, in most horror games, let me go over here. In most horror games, like the enemy won't be there until, for example, the player picks up a key or trespasses a certain area, then the enemies appear. So let's do that, but not in this place. Let me drag the player. Let me see where is the player. That's the player. I'm going to drag him over there, like by the end of this river. Let me see. Can the player walk in there? All right, so let me see, I'm just testing it. It will work. Center in play mode. Okay, good. Oh, yes. I mean, I pressed play a couple of times, so I just loaded the game and then unloaded it. So we want the witches. Okay, our narrative is we want the witches to spawn up here. Okay, the witches will be up there. Let's just do it for the stream since our narrative, the witches are up here. The player comes close, the witches summon the enemy behind the player. But now, what I want to do is, for example, the player comes to an area, the witches appear suddenly. what we call instantiating prefabs. So let's do this. Let's add a trigger area. This is over there. Okay, it's over here. That's the empty object. Okay, trigger box number 2 should come over here. Now we give it a cool trigger. No, collider. Let's set it to a trigger. Let me make it easier to make it collide with the player. Right. And now let's add the area in which the enemies appear. Let's add another empty. Spawn area will be over there. Okay, let's write the code. Let's write the code of this live stream. I'll just call it enemy spawn because we're going to use it. So what exactly do we need? Okay, it's loading. Hopefully I'm getting a new laptop. I hope this laptop really works, so you'll use that laptop, so no loading times, hopefully. Okay, it's loading. Okay. So what does the enemy spawn script need to function properly? So it will need the player and the trigger box to spawn the prefab of the enemy. So let's assign them public game object player. We have public game object enemy, public object spawn area. Or I could call this a transform because instantiate, we don't have to write spawn area dot transform dot position. We can just write spawn area and that's all. So let's call this transform. All right. We don't have to start with anything. Let's see. Starting. So that is when the player enters the trigger box. If part of the tag equal to player, instantiate 3 variables. Appear over here. All right. Okay, so yes, okay, now it's appeared. It spawns the enemy in that position and what rotation it should be. So we spawn the enemy in the spawn area and 40 identity. So it's just the original rotation of the enemy. Let's see. Is there any problem with that? Hopefully not. Wait. Oh, that's factor 3. Forget about it. Yes, sometimes I have problems between transform and that factor 3. Should this work? Sure. Hope it works. Okay, this one worked. This one worked. It doesn't allow for transform variables, but it allows for game object variables. But then we call it transform the position. All right. Sometimes I get confused with that. Okay, so that's trigger box. We just where is the and this one, right? This one is so that's the player and spawn area is this one. Spawns right there, right? Yes, it spawns right there. And the enemy, let's for example, let's get a bit like let's use that enemy over there that's hiding in the dark. Let's use the enemy that just smells the player. Not always the witch. Let's see. Where is it? And prefabs. There it is. I can see. Now let's see. Shall this work? No, we have to do a little bit of debugging. So let's say, for example, we're leaving level 1, but going to level 2. Let's open our light. Now we're just scrolling. Not that the trigger box, we can't see it. We're just going. Now let me not click on the trigger box and see. Is there anything over there? I don't see anything. There is nothing, it's empty. It's empty over here. Just raising my flashlight. Okay, now going back. We do this. So the box should be right here. Yes, see, it's spawned. Now it's over here. So now the player is emitting particles. Yes. Now the enemy is chasing the particles. If I'm too close to the enemy just starts chasing me. All right, good. So that's one way of using trigger box. And another way of just programming this. Another way of doing this, if you don't want to use trigger boxes, let's see, where is it? Yes, it's this one. What was it called? Let's call this distance. Distance equal to no, I forgot the code. What was it? It's just calculating the distance. Let me see. Vector 3 dot distance. Yes, it's this one. Distance between two vector 3 variables. So player dot transform dot position and transform dot position of where the trigger box is. And I don't mean the trigger box where it is originally, the position itself. So this just calculates it. Distance equal to vector 3 And now let's put it in debug mode. Debug.log, just in distance. And with that, we can like calculate if for example, this distance is less than like 10 meters or 10 dot variable, we run this code. We just run this code, but I'm using just the on trigger enter for the trigger box. Like just a preference for now. But let me show you that it works. Hopefully it works. Okay, it's just loading. Okay. Now you can see down, like down here, down in the like in the warning under the hierarchy, under the project, under the files, you can see like a number. You should see a number. Yes, you can see it, but I can see it as well. As we get closer to the trigger box, like that's a good way to test the game out. Like if you don't see the trigger box, now we're just getting closer and closer, closer. No, it's over here. Now we just click on the trigger box and then we spawn over there. Okay, and another good use for trigger boxes in like fighting games, they use like I'm not sure, like some fighting games use rigid body, but most fighting games use trigger boxes as a way like to check if the second player that or if the enemy is hit, and then it decrements the health. So let's do that in a fast way. We can just use this the enemy spawn. Let's see, we can go for the player. We have player movement, but we don't have like it's a player controller. We just call it player movement. Now here, that's just all of the player. Now let's see, did we do a health? Or should we do it separately? I think it's better to do it separately so we don't cram everything in one code until we are like good to go. So let's create C# script health, and we need to access this. We can just like add this script into the player, and it can communicate with the trigger box. Like the trigger box will decrement the health of the player by 1. Let's see. So what makes sense? Like we don't have to make health a float variable. We can just have it as an integer. Public and health. So for example, player health is 2. Like we can change that in runtime. Public and health. Now, any spawn. If, for example, the trigger box has like spikes in it, that place has spikes, we should decrement that. But you need to have access to that script. Let's see, health. No, that's bad. That's bad. It's called HP. Yeah, that's better. See, does this allowed? I think I should initiate it as a public static. Or maybe that's good for the stream right now. See, so it compiles it. Okay. Let's see, sure. It should have, yes. Yes, that's good. Debug.log, HP. Now, that's good. Let's see, is this allowed? Sometimes it doesn't allow like to just do something simple as that to make it more concise. Like by doing that, we need to make it. I'm not sure that's what is. Right, so let's go here. Where we at? Okay, yes. I'll start to. Now, instead of just looking at the number down there, I can make it better. We can go to the console and see from there. Now, here is the console. We can see, just collapse it. We can see this, the distance just increasing over and over. If we, not look, it's not collapsing anymore. But we can get to it. Like I can show you right now. Like the health will decrement. 5, 4, 3, 2. Something happened. Oh no. 1 minute. It collapse. Yes. Let's see what else they have. Because I did the debug the cloud thing. Yeah, I need to remove that. Actually remove that so you can see if this works. Debug the cloud. This one works. But we're about to finish the stream, so let's see. Does this work? If this works, let's see if anyone has any questions. Okay, now it's like clear right now since I removed the distance, the debugging the flock of distance. So now I'll just go there and see, does it show how much? No, it does not. Like why is this happening? The errors is that this prefab of the enemy hasn't been assigned. Because if we go over here, prefabs, see, it's not assigned. The path and the player are not assigned, but the descent is assigned. But that one over there is assigned, like it has the player. It doesn't have the path yet, but it has the player, so it just gives an error. But I don't have path, I don't have the player, but you can still play the game. All right, but it doesn't seem that that really worked. Yeah, I don't think it should work, but I think we could do this. Like I had a health system over here. Yes, I don't see it. Yes, I was mine. Like I was going for the same. I was going for the same narrative. Like it goes and like gets hit by the collider. like it's true. It destroys the game object, which is the player, and I close the scene of the code. It's game over. Now let's do this. Not just defining it now. Yes. All right, so let's just check one final time, one last time. Just loading. Okay, so I'll have this too. We go through there, they have to be one. And then 0, then minus 1, then minus 2, because we didn't have a limit. No. Most probably the problem is the edge. This script doesn't know that this script exists, so I need to make a communication between them. So when this happens, HP minus minus, head updates, because that just updates the unspawnable player, but not the head itself. All right, so any questions? We have, we should be ending the stream in a minute or two. All right. It doesn't seem like anyone has questions, like the main menu or boxes. So thank you everyone who joined our stream. Next stream should be Badriya, as I can see over here. It's Badriya, yes, Badriya underscore inform. They'll be doing UI and menu design. So check them out. All right, and with that, see you later. Goodbye.